Look at your screens, everybody. Good morning from America's newest rules leader, all televis. I'm your host, Geico. Got a commercial. Oh, that's a nice picture. Thank you. You're welcome. We gotta go. We gotta go. It's got to go. Good Lord. Look at your screens. We have a chemical imbalance warning to issue. We might imbalance numerous chemicals and various types of chemicals such as hormones, enzymes, neurotransmitters, serotonin, dopamine. Here's daddy. May contribute. And I wish that I also have some of the reality. All right, so we can't fall. We don't want to fall, Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy. We don't want to fall. We want to have a wonderful day. We forgot the Sedgwick. Put the Sedgwick. Sedgwick. Claims funding here. Hector Morales. We gotta get out of
efforts to address
style.
the extensive losses and damage caused by this natural disaster. The president has also been briefed on today's attack at the St. Petersburg metro. The United States condemns this reprehensible attack and act of violence. Our thoughts and prayers are with the injured and with the Russian people as we extend our deepest condolences to the loved ones who have been killed.
Metro.
Attacks like these on ordinary citizens just going about their lives remind us that the world must
Church
to combat violence in all forms. The United States is prepared to offer assistance to Russia
Route 212.
that may require in investigating this crime. And with that, I'd be glad to take your questions.
Why did he tumble? Today is CDMAYORKREDITCardvardX3.111. Bizarre.
And not the Secretary
Peace Ridge Apartments.
Today, what's the
Yeah,
message
it's
that the president is sending by
Bajario.
having Jared Kushner?
Hello, Bajario.
I don't think it's not a binary choice in this particular case. Both
Mr. Spicer, can you tell us about serotonin?
For Homeland Security.
We're checking ourselves.
Request an invitation of the chairman of the Joint
We're
Chiefs of Staff.
checking ourselves. Joe Sherichet.
For both of them, it's ironically
That's 105.
Mr. Kushner and Mr. Bossert. They're going to receive
ourselves.
briefings and updates with respect to what's going on the ground, our
Mr.
military
Spicer.
involvement there, and our efforts.
Can you confirm chemical imbalances, dizziness,
Jared's going to
lightheadedness?
Express the commitment of the United States to the government of
He
Iraq.
said yes. Thank you,
Meet
Mr.
with
Spicer.
U.S. personnel engaged in the campaign, and Mr. Bossert will participate in meetings and briefings to reinforce the strong
Thank you very much.
U.S.-Iraqi partnership to defeat ISIS. But it's not like this is a one-shot deal. In the course of conversation and extensive meetings, that invitation was extended, and they took it up.
His portfolio is jam-packed and has
Where's Route
grown
212?
in recent weeks.
I'm looking for it.
Among the things that's our understanding that are in his portfolio, he is to broker Middle East peace and overhaul the federal government. Can he do all of these things?
I think not to. It's not like he has a team that he oversees, and I think there's a lot of areas
We
that
have
he
a
has
team.
been working very diligently on behalf of the government, on behalf of the president's agenda. So going over and getting a firsthand understanding of the work that's being done, to thank the government of Iraq, to see some of the sacrifice and progress that our team is making on the U.S. side, is an opportunity that I think every government official and every member of the media should frankly take advantage of if offered that opportunity. Matt?
A recent Trump
Balance.
revealed that President Trump can draw money from his businesses at any time without disclosing it. So on that, I have two questions. One, has the president withdrawn any money from his businesses since taking office? And two, can the White House commit that the president will disclose future withdrawals if they take place?
I'm not sure what he's withdrawn. I think that I'm somewhat surprised in the sense that anyone would find it shocking. A blind trust, or any kind of trust rather, the whole entire point of setting it up is that somebody can withdraw money. I mean,
We're
that's
sitting
frankly
down.
part of the point of setting it up. So
So then why was this change not made? It was made after.
No, that's just-
Hello.
no, I do. But again, I think
Okay.
that you just went and started to say this change was made. I'm not aware that there was any change. Just because a
Remember,
left-wing
311
law
alt is
meets
with
the
your
point of
screening
something
process.
changing doesn't mean it actually happened. I'm not aware that there was
I
ever a
wish
change
they would tell
in
us
the
this.
trust. And the idea that the president is withdrawing money at
I
some point,
wish.
is exactly the purpose of what the trust, why a trust is set up, regardless
Good
of individual.
Lord.
Just last question on this. So you're not saying whether or not it has changed, just to
Good
clarify.
Lord.
You're not sure whether.
No,
this was
I'm
added?
actually, to the best of my knowledge, it hasn't changed.
Thank you.
I mean, Olivia, sorry.
Thank you.
Same seat, wrong person.
Yeah, that's right. I got a couple for you. One,
I have a
multiple reports
duty.
the administration is looking
A
at
transit
arms
court.
packages for Taiwan, including
Duty.
I'm not gonna discuss.
Okay, and then last August, the president sharply criticized then President Obama for not making more of a public case for human rights throughout the Muslim world, throughout the
Call
Arab
the
world.
transit court at
You guys have now said
26878.
that it's better to
78.
raise those issues privately. I'm trying to understand the evolution of the thinking there.
Transit court.
What changed his mind?
What changed?
His mind.
I think the president recognizes that those are conversations where we can, as I said in the statement, that there are areas of that we can work with in cooperation and concern, and that's best discussed privately in terms of how we address
Sedgwick
areas
claims.
that need to be discussed like that in order to make progress on them. I don't think that should be a huge
Absolutely.
surprise.
Raise them in this meeting, do you know?
Again, I'm not going to get into
We
what they
paid that
discussed
bill on
privately, but I will
49.
tell you that we understand the concern, and I think
Hello,
those are the
CBS.
kind of things that I believe progress is made privately. Sarah.
This is us.
Thanks, John. I have two. One, has President Trump spoken with President Vladimir Putin about the terror attack in Russia?
Not yet. I know that obviously the
Today on the show, David Duchovny.
president of Egypt just
Now that's
left,
tomorrow's
to go prior to me
show.
coming out. But I do
The
know that,
X-Files.
as I mentioned,
Today's
at the top,
show.
our teams have been reaching out to both the government of
Today's
Russia and the government
shows, the auto
Colombia
show,
and
and the
I know that there's been
premiere,
some outreach
Fashion and
leave
Furious.
to the folks, to the government of
Today,
Peru with respect to their
on
situation,
live
mudslides
with
there.
Kelly.
And then obviously the
Vin
violence that
Diesel, more
occurred in Russia
chestnuts.
is something that we've already started reaching out from a
Live
government
with
to government
Kelly.
standpoint.
Michael
If there's a call, we will make sure that
Gilman. Yeah,
that
it
out.
is.
And secondly, Senator Rand Paul has called the reports that Susan Rice ordered the unmasking of President
NYC Auto Week.
smoking gun.
Right.
Does the president agree with that characterization, and what does he think of these reports?
Yeah, I saw Senator Paul's tweet. I want to make sure I'm clear, I'm consistent. I think we've been trying to say that from the get-go that there's been an ongoing
Good
investigation.
morning.
that
Here's
we
the
have
auto
supported.
show, International Auto
Looking
Show
into this
today.
matter. I will say that
I
we
will
have continued to
say.
say that I think there is a troubling direction that some of this is going in, but we're
But
going to
where?
let this review and
Review.
go on
Go on.
before we jump to it. But I think that it is
I think
interesting
that is interesting.
the level of
The
the
level.
lack of interest that I've seen in these developments
In
when it
these
goes in one
developments.
direction versus where I think it was going, where other amounts of interest that have come from this room.
Official
beyond, I'm
opening
somewhat
day, the
surprised,
15th
in terms
Saturday
of
at
the level of
8:30
interest that
a.m.
I've seen from the press corps at one set of developments versus another set of developments. That being said, I'm not going to start getting into
How fast
further
is this call
discussion,
going?
of that. Like,
Sean, thanks. Let me pick
Fast
up
and
here
Furious.
a couple questions, but I'll start here. Does the White House believe Susan Rice may have done anything illegal?
I think I'm not going to appreciate the effort.
Eric Holder, Fast
I'm not
Furious.
gonna, start going down that road. As we've said before, we go down one road, we need to go down them all. And I think at this point, we have supported this review that we've
We
asked
blew
for.
up
But I do think that when you see
on fire.
the public on the record comments that Dr. Farkas, Evelyn Farkas, who is the Deputy Assistant Secretary
We're
for Defense and Russian
16.
Affairs, said very publicly that this was part of an attempt
This is part of
of the Obama administration to spread classified
to
information.
spread.
Then you see the developments that have happened today.
And you see-
I'll just say that, as again, I'm somewhat more from a media standpoint, somewhat intrigued by the lack of interest that we've seen in some of these public revelations and reporting that has gone in that direction that we've seen in
The
some of the
auto
other
show.
directions that we've seen.
Fast and
That being
Furious.
said, I'm not going to get into.
as it relates to Neil Gorsuch.
Yeah.
Is the White House comfortable with the nuclear option potentially being invoked?
The president said several weeks ago that this was something that he
We're
would
in a
support.
car crash.
We're comfortable in the sense that obviously that decision is up to Leader McConnell to make.
Today on Rachel Ray, the great Richard Dreyfuss is here.
To deal with this.
He's sharing stories from some of his most iconic roles, like the movie Jones. Richard
We've entered a
Dreyfuss.
whole new league. If this goes
Oh, we
forward,
love Richard Dreyfuss.
in terms of Democrats really going and saying it's one thing to vote against the nominee.
Today
We've
on
seen that in the
Today.
past, and I understand that, but we've now gone from the devolution of agreeing that there are
Absolutely.
certain people that a president has the right as long as they're qualified, right? We've seen that in the past. John Roberts,
Good
I think, got
Lord.
78 votes. But when you see that go in one direction versus now that there's literally going to be the first filibuster in modern times on a qualified judge that's going to end up going on the court, we have really come a long
Jason
way.
Statham was on
Democrats
Fate of the Furious today
are
in the
setting a
NYC
very dangerous
premiere.
precedent
On
when it
today's
comes to
take
how they want to do this.
for Kathy and
Because this
Hoda.
isn't about voting against somebody or having an issue with them. It is literally trying to
It is
stop
literally trying
using
to
the
stop
filibuster for something that it was never intended
our
for.
breaks.
Nor has
Head
it
breaks.
ever really been the
Head
principle that we vote
breaks.
down somebody who is
Head
qualified.
up.
That's right.
Behind the scenes to make sure that his
Head up. Break.
is confirmed by the Senate, and what message does he have for Democrats on Capitol Hill who said they're going to filibuster?
Well, I mean, if you look at, I think it's 4 Democrats that are now
Good Lord, what
supporting,
happened?
saying that they're going to vote against the filibuster. I think we feel good about that level of support. We've, I think, done a very good job of making sure that
Paddock
we have
Chevrolet.
the
Break.
Republican majority support that we need to pass it. It is now an internal question for senators to determine how they want to do it. But make no mistake, and I believe Leader McConnell, when he says on Friday, Judge Gorsuch will be voted as the next.
A real class dealership with small town values.
Looks like the president
Paddock
obviously made
Chevrolet.
president of China, but he's not
Break.
here on Washington. Is he going to be making phone calls Thursday night trying to
Well,
gauge
I
the
think he's
situation?
going to be. We look forward to heading down to
We look
Florida
forward.
Thursday to
Thursday.
engage in some bilateral and
Which
bilateral
Thursday?
plus meetings with the president.
Thursday you
his team
have.
from China. Obviously, that
Carrie
will
and
continue Friday
Anaba.
morning. But
And
we'll
then a
see how Friday
clumsy down the
evolves.
stairs.
But again, I don't think there's any question right now.
Jimmy Kimmel, Aaron Paul, Kurt
According to
Russell, and 2
McConnell and others
Chainz
that we're gonna
featuring
have
Gucci
an
Man.
associate justice of the Supreme Court.
We
ready
have
to
an
go. It's a question
imbalance
of how
issue.
it happens. Zeke.
A couple questions about the check presentation earlier.
Joe Sarachek, serotonin.
You mentioned that he was decided to give the money to the Park Service at the advice of council. Was that is there an issue with making a donation
Serotonin.
to a nonprofit?
Clinical
I think there
depression.
was just that when given the options,
In the
he
brain.
decided that there was a list of government entities
Joe
that can
Muscarella
accept
serotonin check.
donations. Ironically,
Donations.
It's not as easy to give money to the government as you would think. And aside from the IRS. And,
The IRS.
and then I don't think you're giving. But my point is that
Good
he
Lord, where's
looked
that?
through a variety, and for this quarter, he
Where's that
chose the National
GoFundMe
Park Service.
page?
But it was a
Where's
decision that he made based
GoFundMe?
on his counsel presented him with several options, and he believed that.
Go.
That, as Secretary Zinke pointed out, that
Here
there
it
was
is,
some
it's
great work
here.
being done there, especially that needed to do to restore our great battlegrounds. And
It's
we're
here.
to his
Money to the federal government.
Go
the
fund
president,
this.
going to Mar-a-Lago again this weekend. has
This
been
campaign
facing
needs your
calls
material
from
support.
officials in New York and in Florida, either to appropriate federal funds or
Click the
request federal
donate
funds
now
in the
tab.
budget for the additional
American
security work that
Airlines.
AFAs given his presidencies
Oh,
there,
Lord,
travels
good Lord.
to those places. Or to reinforce
I wish
those
this was
local
better.
governments
320,
out of his
here it
own
is.
pocket. Obviously, there's a president who's far wealthier than any president we've seen.
Jimmy
in modern
Fallon's
times, and
on
he
this
has the
Saturday.
capability to make those outlays. Is that something the president is considering, or has he decided to make those outlays to reimburse?
Well,
his-
I think there were
Thursday.
two things. Number one, the request to go to Mar-a-Lago was something.
Tonight on Jimmy
You know,
Fallon, Adam
Chinese and
Levine. Oh
so,
boy, what's
I
happening
think this is a
tomorrow?
very high-level visit.
Or maybe he's on after
that
12.
really has a
Oh, is he
huge
on
impact
after
our
12?
economic and national security. So
That's technically the
secondly, the president has an
11.
opportunity, as all presidents.
Verizon
travel
stores,
to
Hedwig.
President
Hello.
Obama went to Hawaii often.
Josh Gad,
This is
Maroon 5,
not
taken
something
on
you can
NBC at
control. There's a
10,
security aspect
followed
that the Secret
by
Service determines when the president and the family travels. That's not dictated by the president of the United States. And third is,
Mario
would know,
Lopez, the show
ironically,
extra.
This is a day that the president just
Hello,
donated
Mario
a
Lopez.
significant amount of money
Extra.
of his salary back to the federal government.
Jeff Shenzian.
And so, respectfully, it's like it's
Selena
at what
One
point does he do
Barnes.
enough? He just gave a very sizable donation. Though that's the very
Selena
that's
One
not
Barnes.
I mean, I don't
Take
want to be
him.
able to say that. I mean, he isn't taking a salary. I think he stepped down from his business. He's walked away from a
We
lot.
found him.
I think let's.
Can we
I
talk
think
to
at some
Take
point,
him, please?
He's done quite a lot.
Take him. Hello.
in
This
terms of
is Fulton from
getting,
Pink
making donations
Shorts.
on it.
We
John.
have a guest
Sean
on our
Backup
show
Civil Rights
tonight.
Center, if I could.
At
The fact that it's
11:30.
allegedly
Maybe he'll be
former
on
national
at the
security
12 o'clock
advisor
hour.
requested the unmasking when it came to the incidental collection of people
Oh.
associated with the Trump campaign and the
Really?
Trump transition. Puts that now squarely in the White House.
Real
When you
Mario
look at that,
Lopez.
combine it with the NSC rules that were promulgated at the end of the Obama administration,
Zach
to more broadly
and
share
Kelly.
intelligence. Does
Yeah,
this White House
Zach
look
and
at
Kelly.
what she allegedly requested as
Oh,
a
we
national
fell.
security
Okay.
issue or a political issue?
Well,
Well,
I'm not gonna. I mean, that's a nice
take
backdoor into a line of questioning. I think
him.
until there's a finding of that, I don't want to start getting into the motives.
K-pop. He's
Because we
talking
still have-
about K-pop
again,
songs.
Getting to the motives of
K-pop.
certain things,
Pop,
in fact, that I don't think
pop, pop.
we're ready to go to yet, because that again would be getting in the
K-pop,
middle of investigation. I
pop.
do think that there's been enough public discussion and reporting on this stuff that
SNL.
I'm not going to
Look at Joe Shirachit.
comment on this any further until those committees have come to a conclusion of that sort. So we're not going to start going down and guessing the motives.
We
of something
tumble
that is not
down
in fact
our
yet. But I do
website.
think, that it is interesting that, as I mentioned earlier, the level of
Tumblr.
interest.
MerriweatherA.Law.
This is what has been commented on previously in terms of alleged people involved in processes. So I think there's Margaret.
Sean, you mentioned that Jared Kushner has a team
Step
working with him.
ball.
Can you help us understand exactly what's in the portfolio?
Look, we fail with Stephen
Yeah,
Merriweather.
I mean, he's announced the Office of American Innovation the other day. We've named a bunch of those folks that have been part of that team, and as he looks at various aspects of government, he
We
works with
fail.
the White House that oversee different parts of that portfolio, whether it's part of the team that's doing
Tumblr.
the Middle East was one thing. So you've got Jason Greenblatt, who's been traveling to the Middle East and other places to do that. There's people like Reed Cordish and Chris Liddell that are part of the team that are talking about the Office of American Innovation that he's discussed
Get
last week with
started.
respect to opioid use and others. And so there is a team, depending on the subject, that is working with him, and he is providing oversight and direction.
Yahoo.
Overseeing teams handling all these different issues, whether it's Mexico, Canada,
We
Pakistan,
tumble.
Saudi.
Well, again, remember, on Iraq, don't go too far there. He is.
Adam's on our
He was
website.
invited by the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, as was Tom Bossert.
Hello, Adam
Assistant
Levine,
President
Tumblr,
Secretary,
MerriweatherA.Law.
the
We
work
gotta
that's
go,
being
guys.
done there firsthand. I don't
We
think
gotta
this
go.
is-
This has been our show.
Translate into he's overseeing.
Don't fall. Imbalance.
Is an act